going, everyone? Today we're going to be talking about the 10 worst habits that beginner guitar players make that I see every day as a guitar teacher. If you like this video, guys, please make sure to subscribe, make sure to like, and comment down below which one of these habits are you most known for doing. So as a professional guitar teacher, these are the mistakes I see nearly every single beginner make. My motivation for making this video was, since I see so many beginner guitar players making these same mistakes over and over, why not just make a video covering them so that you can make sure you're not doing these at home too. I love helping people when it comes to teaching them how to play guitar and solving issues. So let's get right into it. Bad habit number 1. Every single day I see beginner guitar players doing this in front of me. So what is the issue with what I was doing then? The picking hand is like the engine in a car. It's one of those things, you don't look at the engine when you're driving. Same as you shouldn't be looking at the picking hand when you are playing guitar. It's the engine, okay? It keeps running no matter what you do over here with the fretting hand. You should think of the guitar as the picking hand being the engine and the fretting hand being the driver looking through the window and being behind the wheel. You wouldn't look at your engine when you're driving. So why would you look at your engine when you're playing guitar? If you start looking at the picking hand and you start only looking at the fretting hand, yes, you're going to make more mistakes with your picking hand at first. But the truth with the picking hand is you have to just give it tough love, meaning you don't look at it whatsoever. Give your picking hand tough love. Eventually it'll catch up. Eventually it'll learn where the different strings are by itself, without you having to look at it. And if that doesn't convince you not to look at your picking hand, let me tell you the consequences if you don't do this. If you keep looking at your picking hand, it's going to keep relying on you. The sooner you stop looking at the picking hand, the sooner it's going to have some self-reliance. Focus 100% on your fretting hand. And here's why it's even more of an issue. As you get better on guitar, you don't have a chance to look at your picking hand. You're so busy going to different frets that you need to be looking at the fretboard 100% of the time. So even if you don't feel ready not to look at your picking hand, commit to it today, give it a try. It will sound messy, but after a couple of weeks, you will be a much better beginner guitar player. Try it out, give it 2 weeks, and only after 2 weeks come back to me and tell me I'm wrong for telling you not to look at your picking hand. But eventually, I'd say after a couple of weeks of consistent practice, you won't feel that it's any messier than when you're looking at it all the time. But what you will notice is you're twice as quick on guitar. Bad habit number 2, stopping the picking hand when you can't change chords in time. What you've got to do is you've got to keep your picking hand going even if it feels uncomfortable, even if you don't feel ready. As we said before in bad habit number 1, when it comes to beginner guitar players, the engine is your picking hand. When you're changing chords and you don't feel quite comfortable changing shapes, you need to keep the picking hand going in time with the music. You can't stop because you don't feel quite ready with your chord shape. This is a huge mistake. Absolutely enormous. You are inevitably keeping yourself at that same slow speed for a lot longer than you need to. And this can drag on for weeks and weeks and weeks. So what I'm trying to say is, even if you can't build the chords in time, keep your picking hand going as if you can get to the chords in time. Even though this is really uncomfortable and you won't want to do it, what you'll notice eventually is your fingers will start to go to the right places at the right time. But that won't happen until you don't give yourself any room for maneuver. You've got to keep the picking hand going and not stop it. So this is what you shouldn't be doing. This is what you should be doing. So you see what I did there? Even though I wasn't quite ready to go to that G power chord, I still kept strumming anyway. It will teach your fretting hand to get quicker at building the shapes. But if you stop your picking hand every time your fretting hand isn't ready to build the next chord shape, then you're forever going to be slow and not feeling like you're making much progress. So even if it sounds messy with your chord changes and you're not getting your fingers in the right place at the right time, keep the picking hand going. Bad habit number 3. Not having a dedicated practice routine. Guitar is like anything. The more time you give to it, the better you will get. The issue is a lot of students don't tend to have a dedicated practice routine. They've not actually clearly thought about when they're going to practice and for how long and how much in a week. If you take long breaks where it's days and days and days and days of not practicing, then you're not going to see results and it's going to make you less motivated. Now, things happen in life where you can't play guitar every day. You know, you might go on a holiday or something happens in your life. The trick is to have more good days, meaning picking up the guitar, than bad days. And I recommend never taking more than 2 days off practicing guitar where possible. I really recommend practicing guitar at the same time every day, so that that is time that you know that you're going to be practicing and not let obstacles get in the way or other things that you could be doing. I also recommend having the guitar visible in the room that you're practicing in at all times. If it's hidden away, then you're going to forget to practice. If it's somewhere very, very obvious in the room that you normally practice in, you're going to want to pick it up when you see it. If it's somewhere hidden away, then you're going to forget about it and other things will take your time. This is because of the digital age we're in now. I actually think this is a really, really hard time to be a beginner guitar player. Now you're saying to me, Sean, what? How can you say this is a hard time to be a beginner guitar player? Let me tell you why. Option paralysis, having all the resources available online to learn guitar, is actually a new problem, because back when I learned guitar, when there was only a very few limited amount of resources available on the internet, you could really hone in and just keep practicing that one single thing week in, week out. Whereas I think the problem now is there's so much stuff to learn. There's so many different licks, so many different songs. You've got all these different things to consume around guitar that are very distracting. And so it's very hard now to just focus on one thing and get really good at it. So if you're a beginner guitar player and you find that you're trying to learn one thing 1 minute, then another thing another minute, and you're constantly changing your mind all the time, that is a bad habit. You need to focus on just one thing. Ignore all the noise and all the new videos that come out and all the new tabs or whatever else it is that's distracting you, and just focus on one thing at a time. So choose something to learn, commit to it, see it through until you can play it 100% accurately. And you will become a much better guitarist much quicker because of it. There's a lot of guitarists out there who can do many things, but averagely. It's better to be able to do just a few things exceptionally well than to do lots and lots of different things on guitar at an average level and ability. Spending too much time watching guitar videos. I know, right? How can I be saying that? The issue with consuming lots of guitar related stuff is that's time that's being taken out of your practice schedule. So don't consume loads of guitar related content. Focus on just the playing side of things. Habit number 6, not having a guitar teacher. Do you know, guys, that I offer free online guitar lessons? Head over to www.sean-bennett.com where I can have a look at your guitar playing online via Skype and give you some tips and tricks and tell you where you're going wrong. But seriously, guys, even if you don't choose me, make sure you have a guitar teacher. It will make your progress accelerate dramatically. There's someone there who's already been through all the difficulties that you're having on the instrument, and they'll be able to give you the solutions much quicker, usually, than people who are just self-taught. Bad habit number 7, playing too fast too soon. There's nothing worse than hearing a guitar player who can't play accurately try and play really quick. If you're a beginner, you've got to be really disciplined. You've got to slow down the music and play at that speed until you can play it with 100% accuracy. And only then can you bump up the speed. Google has a free online metronome that you can use to set the speed that you want to play at that's comfortable for you. So be disciplined enough to go really slow on your guitar, and only then, when you master whatever it is that you're trying to play, then bump up the speed ever so slightly. Always go up in increments, never go up in huge jumps of speed. Bad habit number 8, not recording yourself playing guitar. It's going to be a painful experience. It's better to get out of the way as soon as you start playing. Everyone hates hearing themselves playing guitar the first time they record themselves. I remember the first time I heard myself playing guitar, it really hurt me because I only did this after a couple of years of playing guitar, and I thought I sounded a lot better than what I actually did. And that's why it's a good habit to record yourself, because you see the reality of where you currently stand on the instrument. You really hear yourself for what you really are as a guitar player. But the more you do it, the more you get accustomed to accepting your weaknesses as well as your strengths. There might be things you're surprised about. There might be some things that you need to really develop and work on. So as a self-assessment tool, you should be recording yourself fairly regularly. And then what's cool about that is you can look over time at your progress from the earliest videos you made up to your progress currently years later. And that would be nice to see that progression, whilst also being honest with yourself and being able to better assess what it is that you need to work on even more than you thought. Bad habit number 9. And this is the worst one. This is the worst one of all. Not enjoying playing guitar or practicing. The people who enjoy practicing and playing guitar are always going to have a more competitive advantage over those who don't enjoy playing guitar or practicing. Because they enjoy it, they're going to spend more time doing it. So if you don't enjoy practicing guitar, you need to find the reason why. And that is something that some people sometimes struggle with. Some people don't necessarily enjoy what it is their guitar teacher has given them to learn. You should always try and learn stuff that you want to play. Bad habit number 10, and actually this is a super important one, which is why I want to include it, not setting goals. With guitar, you have to set goals. You have to have a direction. Otherwise, your guitar playing and your guitar practice just becomes a little bit aimless, and you kind of feel stuck in a rut and uninspired, and then you don't play, and then you don't get better. So make sure to have clear set goals. These are goals that you should be setting for yourself, not your guitar teacher, because then they'll become much more relevant and meaningful to you, and you'll actually really be dedicated in pursuing them and obtaining them and achieving them. So this could be trying to sound like your favorite guitar player, or it could be trying to learn that one song you've always wanted to learn on guitar. But the idea is that you make sure that once you've achieved one goal, you then set another goal. And once you've achieved that, you set another one and another and another. And that is the process of getting really good on guitar. The ones who really set goals, know what they want to sound like, are the ones most inspired, the ones who most want to practice, the ones who enjoy seeing the progress that much more and become better guitar players for it. So make sure you're setting goals. It's a constant cycle, and as we get better at guitar, we always strive to get even better and even better and even better. And that's where the motivation comes in. There's always something to get better at on guitar, and it doesn't matter how long you've been playing. And no one's ever too good not to try and get better at guitar. There's always something that you don't know how to do, or something you don't understand just yet. And that's the cool thing. It's not something to be depressed about. You know, guitar is a never-ending pursuit of perfection. And it's a good thing, because if we got to a point where we were just that good on guitar we didn't need to practice anymore, that'd be the most depressing thing on planet Earth. And that's why it's really important to make sure you enjoy practicing guitar, and never forget why you set out to play the instrument in the first place when you get further down the line as an intermediate player and then an advanced player. So guys, there you have it. Now, this is not an exhaustive list. There are definitely other bad habits I see beginner guitar players do regularly. Some honourable mentions: not pushing the wrist out enough when playing chords. A lot of times I see beginner guitar players holding the guitar like this. This is an issue because then you get muting. So if you do get muting in your chords and it doesn't sound very clean, make sure to push your wrist out like this from underneath the guitar. So instead of like this, like this. So you should see curvature in the hand like this. Another bad habit is an honourable mention that I see beginner guitar players do all the time is not having their thumb nice and straight down the middle of the guitar neck. You do see guitar players with the thumbs over the neck, and there are some benefits to doing that for certain applications, but when you're a beginner guitar player, there's absolutely no reason to be playing with your thumb over the top. Later down the line, maybe. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. That's 10 bad habits I see beginner guitar players make all the time. If you like this video, please make sure to subscribe. Thank you for watching. And as I said before, if you are in a rut with your guitar playing, make sure to contact me and I'd be more than happy to give you some feedback. Thank you for watching guys, and I'll see you next time.